Hey everybody out there, I'm making this video for any veterans who are getting ready to go to a veterans court. So if you're a veteran yourself going to a veterans court, or if you're a lawyer who has a client that's a veteran and maybe going to veterans court, this may be a good video to show them so they know what to prepare for. Or just a good video for anybody who wants to find out more about veterans court, because when I talk about it, I find out that a lot of people don't know that we have these accountability courts. So let's begin here. I'm going to begin by talking about myself, my experience with the court. My name is David Kendrick. I served in the Army as a Cavalry Scout from 2005 to 2010. And I was shot by a sniper in 2007 during the troop surge. And when I got out of the Army, I had some severe PTSD, started to notice that I wasn't really feeling like myself and things were just different. So I got in some trouble in 2014. I got arrested and lived. I was on 2 years of probation after that. But in 2018, I was arrested again in Cherokee County, Georgia. And this time I was facing some jail time. So I didn't know anything about Veterans Court. My lawyer, I was just going to do my time. But my lawyer said, well, hey, David, aren't you a veteran? Why don't you go down the hall and find out about this thing called Veterans Court? See what they're all about. So I went there. And for any veterans out there, since these are accountability courts, first thing you need to do is just take accountability and say, hey, I did whatever I did. You probably pled guilty, or your lawyer said it would pleading guilty would get you into this court. And the main program of the court is called the Veterans Court Treatment Program. It's to get you treatment. And in some cases, I know in my case, when I got arrested in 2018, my charge was expunged from my record. So if you may be facing it, I was facing 4 years for my charges, but I served in the Veterans Court program with veterans who had felonies as well, felonies and misdemeanors. So taking accountability is going to be the most important thing here. Yes, you did it. You pleaded, whatever you pleaded guilty to, and now you have a chance to enter this program. So let's talk about what the program is. For me in Cherokee County, Georgia, the program was 18 months and it was separated into different phases. I believe we had 4 phases. And with each phase, just like in basic training, it's going to get easier for you as you go along. So first day in the program, you do your paperwork. When it comes to PTSD, a lot of us as veterans, we deal with substance abuse that may lead to our arrest. So they're going to give you something called a clean by date. So that means an example is, let's say that you were smoking weed or whatever, and you have 30 days. THC stays in your system for 30 or 35 days. So let's say that today is April 1st. Don't know how many days are in April. Let's just say 30. The court will be like, okay, well, it's April 1st. By May 5th, you shouldn't have any THC in your system. So you're going to have to take a drug test every single day. They call it drinking from a fire hose. They're going to give you a number to call. They say that it's random. You may not get your number called, or you may not have to take a drug test every day, but prepare for the first 2 weeks of your program to take a drug test every single day. And the window to take these drug tests are going to be very short. My window was from like 6 a.m. to 8:30 in the morning. If sometimes you get there's going to be a line of people who are waiting to give a sample before you. But if you don't piss hot, like I said, the program will get easier for you and down the road. Now let's talk about your judge. Your judge is probably going to be a veteran themselves. I know that my judge was when I was in Cherokee County. I had Judge Morris. He served in the Army. So your judge is going to be a veteran. Do not try to bullshit your judge, because they're also in the military as well. So they were either a bullshitter in the military, or they've seen all the bullshit that we try to use as veterans to get out of something. When I say don't bullshit your judge, an example, when I was going through my program here, we had a guy who pissed out for alcohol during a drug test. And first thing, if the judge asks you a question, they already know the answer. Have integrity in this program as well. But the guy said, hey, well, I had some like beer battered bratwurst or something like that, and didn't know the bratwurst had actual beer in it. The judge is not going to go for that. So integrity is going to mean a lot in this program. And let's get down to your mentor. Your mentor is they're gonna be a volunteer in the court. They may be somebody who went through a Veterans Court program themselves and they've graduated, and the court may have asked them to be a mentor, or just somebody who wants to help out veterans, right? So your mentor is going to be your go-to. Be truthful when it comes to when it comes to talking to your mentor about everything, because they're going to be the person to advocate for you when it comes to the judge. It's just like being a private and you got your E5, and your E5 is going to try to advocate for you when they go talk to the first sergeant, you know. So your mentor is going to be with you throughout the program. They're going to take the ride with you. They're going to check in with you. They may check in with your family just to make sure that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing in the program and everything is on and up and up. So if you want to have a bad time in Veterans Court, lie to your mentor or lie to the judge. You're going to have a bad time, all right? Now, let's talk about some parts of the program that you're not going to like at all, and that is going to AA or NA classes. Once again, part of this program is the treatment. And so being sober, you're going to have to be sober throughout this entire program. I did it. I had to get that paper signed. At the end of every meeting, I had to stand up and say the serenity prayer. I absolutely hated it, even though alcohol was involved during my arrest. So you're going to get familiar with saying, if you go to AA to get your paper signed, you're going to get familiar with the serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change. No, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. I think I had to go to AA twice a week. And in this program, because it is a treatment program, you may not have to go to AA or NA. You can find a program, but it has to be conducive to your recovery. You can't tell your judge, hey, I'm going to this finger painting class, when it does nothing to help you recover. And I have seen veterans in the program try to do that. So be on the up and up with your judge and your mentor. And even if you didn't have any substances in your system, if your arrest wasn't related to any alcohol or drugs at all, you're still going to have to go to a program. So just know that before going in. Now let's talk about some of the treatment in the program. When I was in Cherokee County, Highland Rivers gave us counseling. We had different parts of the program that we had to go through. A big portion of the program for me was it was called Seeking Safety, and there was a book involved with it, and it's just different ways. It's just like PTSD treatment for veterans. Okay, it's just something that we have to go through because we're also seeking treatment in the court. So taking accountability. Why did I get arrested? Doing stuff like seeking safety. There's other parts of the treatment as well. The VA is going to, well, the Army or the Veterans Court is going to make sure that you're in contact with the VA. They're going to make sure that, for me, something that happened for me, which I didn't expect, I actually got my rating increased going through the program because they got me in touch with the right people. So I got a little rating increase in the program, which is good for me. But the treatment, man, it's going to suck. You're not going to like all of it because along with the 2 AA meetings, along with your 40 hours of community service a week, you're going to have to go to these meetings throughout the week for like mini counseling sessions. So prepare for that. House visits. You will get house visits from the police throughout the program. I had Cherokee County Police Department out here in Georgia. I can't remember how many house visits I had, but what they're doing is making sure that there's no drugs and alcohol in the house and everything is safe for you and your family. Seeing people go to jail. Like I said, be up and up, be on the up and up with the judge. Don't lie to him. Don't try to lie to him or her. I have seen people go to jail. So when you go to court, we had to go to court physically every other week. I think it was like every Wednesday or something like that. You had to go to court, and you'll stand in front of the judge. He'll ask you, "Hey, how you doing?" I didn't want any. I think they called them infractions. I didn't want no smoke. So I was always doing what I was supposed to do. I was only in front of Judge Morris for about 30 seconds at a time. Hey, David, keep up the work. Good work. Next. But you will have people in the program who mess up. Hopefully not. And the judge will ask, hey, what happened? and they'll say, well, hey, this happened. And the judge will sentence you. You may see somebody get sentenced to a weekend in jail or 2 days in jail, maybe even a week in jail. I've seen guys in the program before me get sentenced to months in jail. I finished my 18 months and they were in the program for 2 years because they just kept messing up. So don't be one of those guys. Let's talk about community service. That's going to suck as well. You're going to have to do, at least for me, I had to do 40 hours every phase. And however you want to plan that out, that's on you. What will not be acceptable for community service is getting a hookup from one of your battle buddies, saying, hey, I'm going to, I don't know, work on cars for the next 3 hours. That's not going to work. And the last thing that you want to do is have the court give you somewhere to go for a community service because it's going to suck. I had to go to the recycling center and just spend hours upon hours just recycling plastics, separating plastics and stuff like that. Yeah, that's part of the program as well. And in this program, you have to be in school or have a job because free time for somebody dealing with PTSD is going to be the devil's playground. So the court is going to make sure that you have a job or you're in school using your GI Bill. I can't think of anything else at the moment. I graduated. After you graduate, you do get a coin. Let me see. I have seen spouses come to Veterans Court with their with the veteran because sometimes some of the charges may be something family related. So I have seen wives and husbands come to court with their veteran. The most important thing about the accountability court, man, take accountability and get something out of it. Just get something out of it. Get the treatment that you need because this veteran court program was started because a judge in Buffalo saw if he had a veteran in front of him and said, hey, this veteran, he needs treatment, not jail time. So this diversion program is to keep you or your client out of jail or prison and to get the treatment that they need so you don't have to come back. So yeah, that's pretty much it for me. I hope you get something out of it. And if you're getting ready for Veterans Court, if you're going through it, or if you just graduated, I hope you get something out of it. I hope you got something out of it. And yeah, that's all I got.